Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to episode 55 of Learn How to Sudoku, where we take very easy variant Sudoku puzzles and we break them down into detail so that you can learn how to Sudoku. And today's very easy variant puzzle is called Football, Post and In Routes by Will Powers. And I do know this is a post and this is an in route. Now, I'm not really sure what the center is doing because, well, the center shouldn't be going out that far in pass protection. But anyways, we only have, though, this is 7. We only have 10 on each side. So where's the 11th player on each side? Anyways, um, it's still a very cool concept. I like it. But basically, it's like sketching out football plays. I always liked seeing sort of how football plays were diagrammed because it's very interesting, the idea set behind it. And we have defenders here, but there's only 10 on each side, which is a little strange. Anyways, let's get to the actual rules of the puzzle. We have normal Sudoku rules apply, which is fill every row, column, and box with the digits 1 through 9 without repeats. Arrows. Numbers on arrows sum to the number in the arrow's circle. Numbers may repeat on arrows if other rules allow. So basically, for example, this is the sum of all of these 4 digits. This is the sum of these 2. This is the sum of this 1. This is the sum of this 1. This is the sum of these 2, etc., etc. As an example, let's use this one. This could be something like 3, 4, and 7, right? Because these 2 digits along the arrow must sum to what's in the circle. And 3 and 4 does sum up to 7. We also have odd and even, where cells with a gray shaded circle are odd. So these are all odd. And cells with a gray shaded square are even. So these are even. Then we have maximums, which are these defenders, these in-space defenders, which are fully shaded cells with arrows pointing outward, are greater than all 4 orthogonally adjacent cells. So orthogonally adjacent just means that they share an edge. So these are the 4 orthogonally adjacent cells of this maximum, right? So this maximum then would have to be greater than the 4 orthogonally adjacent cells. So for example, you could have something like this is 1, 1, 2, and 5, and this could be 6, right? Because the 6 is greater than 1, 1, 2, and 5. And that's how maximums works. And the final rule set that we have are crop key pairs. Numbers with a white dot between them are consecutive. Numbers with a black dot between them are in a ratio of 2 to 1, and not all possible dots are shown. So, for example, if this was 4, this would have to be 3 or 5 to maintain a consecutive set between these two. And if this were a 4, this would have to be a 2 or an 8 to make sure that there's a 1 to 2 ratio between these digits that are separated by a black crop key dot. And those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. So let's learn how to Sudoku. Okay, the thing that I see immediately is usually arrows that have this long a length are very rare. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what the minimum value could be for this length arrow. And the minimum here has to be 1, 2, and 3, which would make this equal to 6. And the minimum here is 1. So therefore, this has to be at least 7, and it could be 8 or 9. Well, since this is 9 in size, again, the minimum here is 6. That means the maximum here can be 3. So this is 1 through 3. And in addition, this has to be at least 1. So the maximum amongst these 3 cells have to be 8. and therefore it has to be 1 through 5. So the 1 has to be on this arrow, because again, you can either have 1, 2, 5 or 1, 3, 4 to add up to 8, but you need a 1 no matter what. And if you try to get a smaller number, you again need a 1. Yeah, so that's one limitation. We know this, again, has to be 1 through, if we try to take the minimum here, it's 1, 2, and 3. So this would be 6 through 9 as the set of digits that are possible here. What else do we have here? The squares are even, so let's just mark them as blue, and the circles are odd. Okay. This has to be the digits 1 through 6, but this cannot be 5, 6 because that's already 11. It cannot be 4, 5 because that's 9 already without just this cell then. And 9 plus a cell is not a digit because it'd be 10 or more. So it could be 3, 4, and this is 2, or 1. It could be 2, 3, in which case, if it's 2, 3, it has to be 1 or 4. And if it could be 1, 2, in which case this could be 3, 5, or 6. Any of those are possible. We don't have any restrictions. Well, okay. So all of these small arrows are essentially have to be the same as the ones here, right? Because essentially the sum of the arrow, which is just one cell, has to be the same as that digit. So this, let's color them. Will make blue. That's the same as that one. This will make pink. Actually, let's make that red. This is red, which will be the same as that one. This will make pink, which has to be the same as that one. And this one will make yellow. So all of these are the same. So this has to be even because it's a square. So this has to be 2, 4, 6, or 8. And this is consecutive with an odd digit, which is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So this is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. These have to be the same. This is an odd digit, so this has to be 1 or 3, right? Because it cannot be... The other digits possible are 2, 4, 6, and 8. So this then is 1 or 3, and it's in a 1 to 2 ratio with another digit. But if this were 1, this would have to be 2, and that's not possible for this to add up to 2 because they are in the same box. And the minimum here then would be 1 and 2. So this cannot be 1, which makes this a 3, and this is 3. This has to be 6 to maintain the 1 and 2 ratio. Therefore, 3 cannot be here. Well, what can these consecutive digits be? It has to be 1 and 2. So this is 1, 2, this is 4, 5, and 6, which makes this 7, 8, or 9. This can no longer be 3. This can't be 3. And this can't be 3. This can't be 6 anymore. So the 8 could be with 7 or 9. But the problem with that happening is if this is 8 and this is 7 or 9, what do these numbers become? 8 is no longer possible, and one of the 7, 9 is already taken, so you can't fulfill both of these cells if that's the case, if this were 8 and this was 7 or 9. So this cannot be 8, and this cannot be 7 or 9, which means this is 2 or 4. The 6 must add up with 2 digits, and one of them is even, so this has to be 2 and 4 specifically. So this is 2 or 4, and this is 2 or 4. This is also 2 or 4. We now have a 2, 4, 2, 4 pair and this can't be 2 actually because of the 1, 2, 1, 2 pair in row 5. So therefore this must be 4, which makes this 2, which makes this a 4. This is 4, which forces this to be 5. So this is 5. This can't be 1, 2, or 4, so it's specifically 3 or 5. This can't be 2, 4, or 5, so this is 1. This can't be 4 or 5, so this must be 6, which makes this a 9. So this can no longer be 9. Well, that means this is 8 at most. And since this is 8 at most, and this is at least 1, that means this is 7 at most, which it cannot be, because we require 1, 2, and 4, so it has to be 1, 2, and 3 then, because 5 can never be here. If this were 5, that would be 1, 2, 5 at minimum, which would already add up to 8, not including this digit, which means this would have to be greater than 8, which is not possible. So this has to be 3, this has to be 2. So this adds up to 6, and this is 7 or 8. So this could specifically be 1 or 2 then. The remaining digits here in row 6, well, this has to be 7 or 8. It cannot be 9, because if this were 9, that plus another number does not add up to a digit, right? 9 plus 1 at minimum would equal 10, and that's not a digit. So this has to be 7 or 8. This cannot be, it has to be 7, 8, or 9. It's an odd digit, so it's 7 or 9, but it has to be there, which sees a 9, so it cannot be 9. Therefore, this must be 7, which forces this to be 8. That means this has to be 9. This 8 must add with 1 to add up to 9. This can't be 7, so therefore this must be 8, which means this is 6, therefore this must be a 2 to add up to 8. And the remaining digit here has to be a 2. This can't be 2 anymore, so this is 1, which makes that a 2. The remaining digits in this box are 5, 6, 7, and 9, right? 5, 6, 7, 9. This can't be 9. If this were 9, it would be consecutive with an 8, but that can't be possible because of that 8, so this cannot be 9, which means one of these two is a 9. This digit is greater than, at least a 5, so this has to be 6 through 9. It cannot be 8 or 9, though. It's 6 or 7. So therefore, this is at most a 7, which means this can never be a 7, because if this were 7, it would be greater than this, and the maximum rule would break here. So this can't be 7. This is 5 or 6. Remaining digits here have to be 1, 3, 6, 8, 9, and these can't be 6. 1 and 3 are not greater than 3 digits, so this can't be 1 or 3. This has to be 8 or 9. And 9 cannot be any of the orthogonally adjacent cells, so this can't be 9. And this can't be 9 because of the 9. One of these two cells has to be a 9 in this box for it to work, so this can't be 9. Well, we have a 1, 3, 6, 8 quadruple in this box, which eliminates 1, 3, 6, and 8 from the rest of the box, so this must be a 9. The remaining digits here are 4, 5, 7, and 8. 4, 5, 7, 8. If this were 4, it would not be greater than either of these surrounding cells. Same with a 5, right? Because if this is 5, this is one of these is at least a 4, but then the other one would have to be at least a 7. So this can't be 4 or 5. This is 7 or 8. The 8 cannot be in either of the orthogonally adjacent cells to this maximum, because that would be then greater than this, what would remain, which is a 7. So this cannot be 8 here. This has to be 3 through 7 to be less than the 7 or 8 that's here. Okay. What else do we have? This can't be 3. This must be greater than at least 3 other digits that are unique. And it cannot be 4 or 5, so this must be 6 through 9. These can't be 7. So one of these two has to be a 7 in the box, which eliminates 7 from the rest of the row. So this can't be 7. We now have a 5, 6, 5, 6 pair in this box, which eliminates 5 and 6 from the rest of the box. So this can't be 5 or 6. This can't be 5 or 6. This can't be 3. because of the 3 here. We now have a 1, 6, 8 triplet in this box, which eliminates 1, 6, and 8 from that box. Therefore, this is a 3. This can't be 4. And this can't be 1 because of the 1, so this must be 8. This can't be 1 or 8, so this is 6. This can't be 8, so this is 5, which makes that a 4. This can't be 4 or 5, so this is 7, which makes that an 8. This can't be 6 or 8 because of what's in the box, so this must be a 1. This must be greater than at least 3 digits, 3 unique digits. Therefore, it cannot be 1, 2. And 3, 4, 5, and 7 are rolled out, so this must be 6, 8, or 9 here. This can't be 6 anymore. Remaining digits in the row are 1, 7, 8, 9. And again, this can't be 9 because then it would be greater than whatever is in this maximums box, which is not allowed. This is 1, 7, 8, or 9. This can't be 9 because of this 9. This can't be 9. Yeah, it can't be 8, so this has to be... It can't be 3 or 4 or 6. This can't be 1 because it's a sum of 2 unique digits. Can't be 2, can't be 3, 4. It could be 5 or it could be 7. So if this is 5, it would have to be 1 and 4 adding up to it, or 2 and 3, but those are both taken care of in these cells in the box, so this can't be 5 then, which makes this a 7. So these can't be 7. The 7 must be 1, 6, which is not allowed here, 2, 5, which could be, or 3, 4, which is not allowed because of 3 and the 4 in the box. Therefore, this must be 2 and 5 added together. This has to be 1 or 8, and it cannot be because of the 9 here. It can't be 1 because of this 1. So this must be 8, which makes this a 1, which makes this a 9. So this can no longer be 9. This has to be greater than this. Therefore, this must be 8, which makes this a 7. What else do we tackle? This cannot be an 8. What other restrictions do we have? Here, these 2 digits must differ by 2, specifically. What are the possibilities here? 1 cannot be here, because it needs to have a 3 with it, so that's not 1, 3. Obviously, you can't have 2, 4, 3, 5, 4, 6, or 5, 7. You can't have 7, 9 because of the 7, 9 here. It has to be specifically 6 and 8. So to add up to, with 6 to 2 adds up to 8, right? So those are the only combinations that it can be. So that's 6 and 8, which means this can't be 6. This has to be 9. The remaining digits in the column have to be 1 and 2, and this can't be 2. Therefore, this is a 1, which makes that 2. Remaining digits here have to be 1, 3, 4, and 5. This can't be 1, and this can't be 1. Where is the 1 in this box? It has to be here. So the rest is 3, 4, and 5. That works. Where is a 2 in this box? It cannot be here because of this 2. Can't be here. So these are eliminated, which means it has to be here. So this is a 2. We have 8 2s now. So we should know where the remaining 2 is. It has to be here. So this is a 2. We don't have that many 3s. Do we have enough 1s? No. Let's just fill out. So now we're just probably going through the rows and columns that have the most filled out and looking at what those digits can be. So therefore, this is 1, 3, or 4. This has to be 5, 6, and 9. This can't be 1 because of that 1. This can't be 9 because of that 9. What about here? It must be 4, 5, 6, and 7. So this is 4, 5, or 6. This is 4, 6, and 7. The remaining digits in this one have to be 3 and 4. So 5, where is the 5 in this row? It has to be one of these 2 cells, which means 5 has to be one of those, so this cannot be a 5. This can't be 4 actually even because of that 4, so this must be a 3 then. Which means these can't be 3. That means it's a 4-5 pair, which eliminates 4 and 5 from the rest of the box. So this can't be 4 or 5, so this must be a 3. Actually, now we have a... still not enough 3s. This is 4, 6, or 7, but it can't be 4, so this must be 6 or 7. This is 4, 6, or 7. Okay, I see. This is consecutive. So if this is 5, it has to be with 4 or 6. If this is 6, it has to be with 5 or 7. If this is 7, this would be 6, which means that the 7 would be greater than the 6, which is not allowed by the maximum rule. So this can never be 7. Therefore, this is 4, 5, or 6. This is 5 or 6. Which means this is either 4 and that's 5, this is 5 and that's 6, or this is 6 and that's 5. Either way, there's a 5 in one of those two cells. Where is the 8 in row 3? It cannot be here because then it would be greater than the maximum, which is not allowed. It cannot be any of these cells. It has to be here. So therefore, this is an 8. Remaining digits here are 3, 4, and 5. 3, 4, and 5. So this is 3, 4, 5. This cannot be 3 because of this 3 now. Where is the 9 in this row? Again, it cannot be here because then it would be greater than the maximum. That's not allowed. And everything else is ruled out. Again, this by the maximum or by the white crop key dot. And these cannot be, and this can't be because of that 9. Therefore, this must be a 9 here. So this can't be 9. This has to be 3 through 7, but it can't be 3, 4, 5. So this must be 6 or 7. Well, we have a 6, 7, 6, 7 pair in this row and in this box, which eliminates 6 and 7 in the box and the row. So this can't be 6 or 7. This can't be 6 or 7, and this can't be 6 or 7. Well, we now have a 4, 5, 4, 5 pair in this box too, which eliminates 4 and 5 from the rest of the box. So they then have to be 1, 3, 8, and 9 as the remaining digits. Well, this can't be 1 or 8. This can't be 9, so this must be 3, which forces this to be 9. This then has to be 1 and 8, and this can't be 8, so this must be 1, which makes that an 8. This can no longer be 1. Where is the 1 in column 5? It has to be here. So this is a 1. This has to be a 7, because if it were 6, that would force this to be 7. Excuse me. Which is greater than that, which is not allowed by the maximum rule. So this must be 7, which makes that a 6. This can't be 6 anymore, so that makes that 7, which makes that 9, which makes that 7. So neither of these can be 7. Where is the 3 in row 3? It has to be here. So this is 3, which makes that a 4. This can't be 3 or 4, so this must be 5 here, which makes this a 4, which makes that a 3. And that's 3 in the corner. We celebrate. This can't be a 5 anymore, because so that must be 6, which makes that 5, which makes that 4, which makes this a 6, which makes that a 4, which makes that 5, and the rest is Sudoku. So this is a 6, this is a 5. This can't be 4 anymore because of that 4, so this is 5, this is 4. This remaining digits are 6 and 7, so this is 7, and that's a 6. And that's how you solve it. Pretty cool concept. I like the line of scrimmage and the football rules, though. Again, I'm I'm just a stickler, but that's because I'm being a little bit pedantic. But there should be 11 units on each side, and there's only 10. So, anyways, that's yeah, still very cool. A very cool concept. The quarterback is backing out here. The running back is doing some sort of flat route. The center, who knows what he's doing? He's being ineligible downfield, but you sort of have to do that because otherwise it doesn't make sense. You have the offensive lineman stunting here, which is kind of weird, but it could happen. It rarely does. But anyways, very cool puzzle, Will. I enjoyed it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Learn How to Sudoku. and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.